you got 5:15, Mayor Pro Tem.
5:15?
Yep.
You can, whenever you would like to, you're welcome to.
All right. I will call tonight's meeting to order for the Tuesday, August 1st, 2023, 5:15 p.m. for regular city council meeting. Mayor Jay is out today, so you're stuck with me. Sorry about that. Jane, can we have roll call, please?
Rudolph.
Here.
Shaven.
Here.
Kroger.
Here.
Bielenberg.
Here.
Lindberg.
Here.
Thank you.
And we have all received the agenda ahead of time in our packet. I don't believe there are any amendments to that, so could I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll motion.
Motion by Lindberg, second by Shaven.
Roll call Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Bielenberg.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Thank you.
And please state any conflict of interest as that may arise for tonight. Under the consent agenda, we will have just one motion with a roll call vote to review and approve the minutes of the July 18, 2023 council meeting and the claims list number 1295 in the amount of $1,120,008.16. And that's a really large number.
Yep, there was a
There's lots
large
of big
bill.
expenses in there.
The
Streets.
street improvement project, that was $929 just by itself.
And Jet A fuel, looks like
Yep.
that's another big one. So.
Yep, they're filling up with the spray planes.
The crop dusters, they've been very busy out there.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Rudolph,
I'll second.
second by Lindberg.
Roll call Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Bielenberg.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to other business. Several of us attended the Public Health and Sanitation Committee meeting last week on July 25th. Those minutes were in our packet, and I guess I need a motion to receive and file those minutes, please.
Motion.
Motion by RJ,
Second.
second by Shaven.
Roll call Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Bielenberg.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
And we have one action item I believe we need to talk about or review, and that's review recommendation to move forward with the home serve service lane program, and that's pending HMU board review and marketing agreement. So again, that information is in our packet. Mr. Jean?
I'd be happy to highlight a couple of items. Again, most of you were able to attend that. And this is a program that's been around for quite some time. The way to think of it is an coverage or insurance for the private ownership of lines, be that sewer or water, that go from what's considered public to the private owners. Home Serve is a national company, and the National League of Cities and Iowa League of Cities have partnered with them for many years. There are close to 120 other Iowa communities that do partner with them for this service. And just two of the items I wanted to point out that were included in the information that Ashley from Home Serve had reviewed, I think really spoke and accented the program. And that, close to 80% of homeowners that are spoken to believe that there should be more education about who owns what and ways to prevent repairs. And close to 60% of homeowners have had some type of emergency repair, be it sewer or water, in the past year. That could be inside or outside the home. And then also that the statistics provided 40% so far of 10 of American homeowners couldn't withstand a surprise emergency bill for this type of repair over $400. And then the other item I wanted to highlight, which I did comment on, And there are over 1,200 partners nationwide, and almost 120 of those are in Iowa that this organization works with. And other communities very similar to us, it might be in which some of the utility is managed by a public utility just like us and HMU, or in other communities it might be that water, sewer, electric are all under the city. But this includes all of those. We did share some of the feedback we've received from other communities. And the recommendation from the committee meeting, which is why it's on your agenda this evening, is to support moving forward with this and to put together, or actually to enter into a marketing agreement with HomeServe, and HMU will need to further review it to determine if it is the city only with the sewer side of it, or if you're going to look at the water side too, and jointly market it, which was one of the examples, recent communities was the city of Winterset. Just recently, between their Winterset utilities and the city, recently signed up and did a joint marketing or a joint announcement. And that was in your packet as well. So happy to answer any questions or highlight it further. But there's nothing being signed or agreed to tonight. It's just that commitment to move forward. We would pen HMU's final decision. And I think I would recommend in your motion you probably give some, maybe Joe's got some input to that. But no later than X date, we'd like determination to move forward, in which we could bring a marketing agreement back for review and approval by the governing body.
I mean, we would likely probably discuss or at our, have it on our agenda for August 24th.
So you think by September 1st, Joe, you would have some
Yeah, I would
direction,
think we'd have.
move forward or not move forward?
Yep.
So I would offer that if that would want to be in your expanded motion, I guess, to move forward.
And this program also offers a revenue income for the city, correct? If it were to be approved and people actually purchase policies, correct?
A revenue,
Is that
yeah,
right?
it's a minor revenue share for each policy.
No cost to the city, right?
Right, no cost.
Yeah, no cost to the city.
Yep.
And the best example with this is a sewer line. The city ownership and responsibility for the city infrastructure is the sewer main. Most of those being in the middle of the street or offset from the middle of the street, sometimes in an alley, but from that sewer main, the tap into that begins the private line. So as we know, with especially aging infrastructure, so let's say a home of 25 years ago, more than likely it has an old clay tile pipe or some other type of line versus solid core PVC, which is a standard that's used today. So things such as roots, just aging and deterioration of that clay tile. And so from the city main all the way up to the entering the home, that is the property owner's responsibility. And the national average with a sewer repair is about, I think it was $6,300 or $6,400. And this provides, per occurrence, $8,500 per occurrence for either a water line or sewer line if you have each of those coverages. And there will be a lot, quite a bit more citizen information, education, and again, that was part of this committee discussion, and what we've learned in talking with other cities is that it really provides an opportunity for people to become more educated about what they own and don't own and what the risk is. And also for them to talk to their insurance agents as to, does my policy cover this or not? Or can I get an endorsement for it? So we certainly think on the sewer side would be an enhancement and a good education for our citizens.
I think so too.
So basically, this is just an endorsement to allow them to provide policies to
market
to people in the city of Harlan. Not saying they have to.
As a legitimate service.
It's endorsed by the city, okay.
It's not a scam.
Okay. Well, yeah, basically, but I'm sure some people already have coverage through their current home providers.
And those sewer and water lines, they get super costly, and if People think they're covered, but they're not. That's usually never a fund emergency debt to a cure, so.
Right.
I can speak from firsthand in August of 2018 when
That was a bad one.
mine went in $8,400 to have 15 foot of 4-inch PVC go down 11 foot deep from a demolishing of a house next door to, yeah. So at that point in time, I found out my homeowner's insurance did not cover it, but I do have a policy that does now, but after the fact. But that's a very surprising bill when you have to pay such little.
Right.
So, but no, I agree. I guess, I mean, as far as if you're looking for a motion to approve, it'd probably be something contingent on the fact of the HMU board going forward with their decision and then bringing it back to our September 5th council meeting? Or would you?
I probably need till the second meeting in September to have
Okay.
a marketing agreement.
19th.
Finish up. They've got how that would include or not include HMU.
So that's a motion to move
Correct.
forward pending HMU.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and move forward with that pending the HMU review and coming back to council.
Motion by Lindberg, second by Shaven.
Roll call Rudolph,
Aye.
Shaven, Kroger,
Aye.
Bielenberg,
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Okay. City administrators report. Mr. Jean.
Yeah, we had a fairly brief agenda in terms of formal action with other business, but as is typical with this time of year, there's a tremendous amount of activity and projects going on. As you noted in the claims list, with the out of normal claims list amount of 1.1 million, 930,000 of that was the street project. As you can all, I think a lot of our citizens can notice, you travel some of the Durant, Baldwin, and Willow, but all the paving is now down, the asphalt's down, and that was the substantial component to that project. What remains is, you probably saw some painting of lines today, that's being done by our city staff. So some of the lines were being placed. But as far as finish up with the contractor, they'll be still adjusting some manholes with risers, a few on Willow and I think more on Durant, and then some final cleanup and then seeding and grading. And those will be the final items that will take place here over the next 2 to 4 weeks. Yet all streets are open and fully accessible. Additionally, the airport continues to be quite active. So quite a bit of Jet A, which is the fuel type that's used with a lot of crop dusters. And just reviewed an invoice today, and we're just under 40,000 gallon, which right now is about 6,000 gallon less than last year. Some of that's dependent upon timing of the first fill up as well as what the level was in the 10,000 gallon tank. But all in all, a very active season, and looks like the activity and the sales on fuels are going to be very similar to last year. 4th Street Bridge, over the past few days, actually late last week, we noticed that there was some further deterioration of the understructure. This is the bridge or crossing down by the soccer fields, down near the fairgrounds, which we've closed the last few winters just because of the concern and its condition. We have now closed that due to some ongoing safety concerns. So that is closed. The study that we are engaged Snyder and Associates, which you all approved here, I think early June. We were notified that they should have that study with possible options on that replacement could be as soon as next week. So again, that required a hydraulic analysis because of the large volume of stormwater that goes through there, as well as we're wanting ideas on costs and options for replacement, which was the committee's recommendation. Just notice the public, the signage is up down there. Again, it's not preventing anyone from getting to a home or a business, fully accessible. It's just closed until we have a replacement in place. So, and that's out of an abundance of caution and minimize any liability there. Some nice new surprise enhancements at the dog park. So with the tree removal that was accomplished here a few weeks ago, we'd had, due to acquisitions of some dog park features from the remaining funds, and that they were purchased a few years back, and just based on timing and location until some trees were out. So encourage all dog owners, if you've not been out to the dog park, there are some new agility features and hoops, and have received some positive feedback already in the dog park area. So if you've not been by there, most of them are visible from 12th Street, but keep your eyes on the road, be safe if you're taking a peek at those. Building inspector continues, Rogers continue to be very active with stage inspections with the three new commercial properties, Dollar General, Scooters, as well as the Family Dollar Tree. Don't have specific dates. I know Todd will make a comment, I'm sure, with his report, but it progressed very quickly. You can see on the outside some nice finished scooters. We came into town last evening, and just at dusk, and the new signage and scooters lit up was definitely a different new look and sign of some change and growth. So that's been very active as well. I'm guessing Joe will comment on the HME water project, yet that's coordination with the city as well, as we are two of our main sewer mains that go out to the wastewater plant from Renton Lift Station. They do cross the water field. I believe that coordination, or not I believe, I know the coordination's been going very well with the water team at HMU as well as the contractor. That has kept folks active. And the last update I have is I attended the Board of Supervisors meeting this morning, and you may have noticed, and I'm sure it'll be on their updates and reports, that there was a resolution on the EMS as an essential service, and that adopting that as a public measure on the November 7th ballot. Again, another one of those required prescriptive steps that has to take place, and that resolution was read and adopted this morning, as well as it formalized the ballot language, which will be on the ballot. As Alex Londo and Tim Plum were here previous meeting at Educated Youth, provide an update on EMS. There'll be a tremendous amount of public education and more information about the vote coming in September, October, just prior to the vote. But it was a successful pass of that resolution by the Board of Supervisors this morning for that public measure. And with that, happy to answer any questions or concerns you have.
Looks like we're all quiet.
Yeah, nothing from here.
Thanks, Gene. Appreciate the update
Sounds good. Thank you.
on that non-busy schedule.
Right.
Okay, Mayor Jay is appointing Paul Brook to the Tree Advisory Commission for a 3-year term to expire May 16th of 2026.
Thanks for volunteering and making a motion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll second.
Motion by Shaven, second by Lindberg.
Roll call Rudolph,
Aye.
Shaven,
Aye.
Kroger,
Aye.
Bielenberg,
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye. That's good. Thank you, Mr. Bruck.
Okay.
Don't see volunteer too much in this day and age. so-
Mr. Todd Valeen, Shelby County Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Good evening. Good to see you.
Hey, Todd.
One update for the chamber, and then just some items to pay a little attention to coming up. So previously we had presented the Make My Move program, and we were able to work our fiscal year 24 budget to go ahead and launch that program.
Good deal.
So we did that July 7th. Other communities that have recently come on in Iowa include communities like Britt and Bloomfield. Osceola's come on, Manila's come on, Marshalltown's come on. So again, didn't want to be the last one jumping in the pool. Wanted to get us out there as quickly as we could. To date, we received 18 applications since July 7th of people who are looking at our community as a place to move. 6 of those applications didn't really meet the requirements. They might have considered themselves to be, a remote worker, but when I looked into their applications and the information they put down, really they're not. Of the others, we've had 12 people that we've reached out to communicate with them via email. I've had 3 phone conversations with folks, and I have additional ones then scheduled to follow up on. As far as incentives, I mean, we had a few incentives that we kind of advertised out there that were possible. But what I'm finding in these conversations is it's a lot easier to ask them, you know, what are your interests? What do you like to do? What do you want to be involved with? I mean, one lady down in Alabama, she wants to learn all about gardening. And she heard that gardening is something that we do in Iowa. So I said, you bet, we'll get you, we'll have tomatoes grown by May if you move here. So it's been going really well and continuing to look forward to progress through that. Dean mentioned the 3 new retail locations, and we are planning some ribbon cuttings here real soon. So we're hoping to see some within the next few weeks, including one for Kennedy Brothers Plumbing, which is a new chamber member. So they're over in Shelby, and they're just getting up, ramping up, but it's nice to have a new plumbing
Outfit.
outlet here in Shelby County. That one we'll probably do out at the chamber, have like a Thursday night deal so people can come out and introduce themselves to the Kennedy Brothers, and they can introduce themselves to those folks. Another thing I talked about at the supervisors meeting, if you are on, like the blood donor registry and stuff, we're all getting texts and emails almost like on a daily basis about how much they need blood donation. So we have a mobile coming up on August 5th from 8 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon over in Shelby. It's going to be at the Shelby Community Building. So if folks haven't donated recently, please consider trying to make it over there. We're not even in the heavy season yet, but we're going to be there really soon. So we need to get our donation levels up. And then finally, on August 10th, out at Iowa Western from 1 to 2, they're calling it a campus conversation. But what it is they're inviting us, local leaders, employers, school district folks, to come out and sit down and just talk to them about, okay, as we're looking out over the next 5 to 10 years, what services, what courses, what opportunities do we as a community want Iowa Western to be offering through the Harlan location? And what they're doing is they're doing that at all of their satellite locations, and they're going to take that back to the board of trustees and to the administration and start putting together their plan of, what do we have to launch. I mean, just within the last 18 months, we've seen a lot of changes out there already. But they're looking to make more. They want to make sure that they're meeting the community needs, and they need our help. They need our input. What do we see trending for our businesses over the next 5 to 10 years where we're going to need to get some holes filled. So if you can, make it on out. Again, it's going to be 1 to 2 on Thursday the 10th out at Iowa Western. And that's it for me.
What was that, 10th?
Thanks for the
Yeah,
updates.
August 10th from 1 to 2 at the Iowa Western.
Do I have any questions for Todd?
No, thank you, Todd.
Thanks. Joe Ruschenberg, HMU.
Hello, everyone. I've just got a couple things. Like Gene had mentioned, as far as our water project, making good progress. They're still kind of fighting with getting their fittings and everything in. Just the same thing with that supply chain. So they're trying to lay as much pipe as they can, but like I said, the fitting, just with some of the materials, is still kind of slowing them down a little bit. I think they're making good progress. And then also just wanted to note, we have 3 new CSRs that started last Tuesday, due to retirements and just CSRs leaving due to retirements and then just taking other jobs. We had 3 openings. Genesis Garcia is our new utility CSR, and then Kathy Gear and Christina Slater are our new telecom CSRs. So it seems like they're fitting in well and learning as they go. So I think they're going to be good fits for each year. If you have any other questions for me, concerns?
May have any questions for Joe?
No,
Doesn't
I'm
look
good.
like it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
No rain actually.
Yeah.
Well, there's more chances tonight again.
Yeah.
So-
Good.
We got a brief shower earlier, but not long.
Need a lot. Yes.
2 cents, I go do it, yeah.
Okay, I think we probably have some folks in the gallery that have public comments for us. Will you please just state your name and Horace, thank you.
Hi, I am Mary Weiss Buchanan, newly relocated back to Harlan. Some of you may have known my parents, but anyway, my husband Scott and I bought the place out east of town. And first I want to say that we've been thrilled being in Harlan and seeing the vibrant and growing downtown, and the hospital is, so amazing for a small town. Feel really lucky in the businesses we work with as we clean up and fix up the house. But I'd also like to just put my comment on record about the fair parade. I know you probably saw the article in the paper, and I just wanted to say last year when I went to the parade, I was so excited and kind of telling all my out-of-state friends about how cool it was, and they threw bacon, and wow, how cool is that? And then this year, seeing that the float with the casket, it just, and going through downtown, I feel like that just doesn't represent the fair to me or the town to me. And I just wanted to say, as a former 4-H'er and a current member of the community, I'd really like to see some possible policies put in place so that that kind of hateful message isn't out there anymore, isn't put into parades and an event that's supposed to be celebrating our town and our rural community, etc. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I did write to the Fair Board a couple weeks ago and have not received a response. And so anyway, that's all I'm here to say. Thank you. Nice to
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome back to Harlan.
Thank you. Yeah, great.
Yes.
Could I put some paperwork forward to you all?
I think so.
Yeah, that's
She
fine.
mentioned it. I've got this arranged in packets. There's several copies for each of you, so you can just pull a packet and
Okay.
pass it on. But it's information to help hopefully follow up on a thought I had when I was here 2 weeks ago. My name is Brian Burns, resident and native of Harlan. And last week I mentioned that I think it's, or 2 weeks ago I mentioned I think it's critical, important, critical that a meeting of some sort be held to discuss, talk about, and to the point that Mary is saying, policy that is put in place within the city ordinances, ideally, of guidance for parade entries. And, for the city to be the leader on helping other organizations that produce parades to develop and have guidance on parade entries as well. I think that's critical. Part of my background is I taught as a university professor for 26 years. Teaching was only a part of my job. Oftentimes, I was on administrative committee work, and anytime a touchy subject came up, we would develop a task force, ad hoc committee, a subcommittee, and the first thing that we would do is to gather information from other universities or other resources that may have already dealt with it. I've already done some of that work for you in a couple of these documents. There are other organizations around Iowa, cities and parade organizations that have policy in place, and much of the policy that you'll reads very accurately on, I think, addressing an issue that we have here in Harlan. So there's homework to be done. I feel like, and I hope that some of the paperwork that I'm giving you gives you simple resources. My sister, Sue, her last name is Bravos. We talked about, you go and find a resource and find examples of policy and borrow and use and model. And she did about 10 minutes of research to pull together what you have. The issue of this particular parade float is still being discussed. I've received phone calls from concerned individuals on multiple sides of what I would assume are political sides, but this is not even about political sides. This is about just kind of decency for a kids' parade. So, there's still discussion. One of the documents I printed out is my sister Kathy, who also appeared in the newspaper article. Her name's Kathy Burns. On her Facebook account, and I've printed out, it's real small lettering, maybe a little hard to read, but there's responses from the last couple of weeks. Currently like 90 responses and replies, comments and replies of people's opinions about this. If you haven't seen my sister's Facebook page, it's Kathy Burns, easy to find. But this gives a really clear example of the kind of reaction, string of reactions and also replies that are happening and still happening. I was encouraged strongly by Kathy to ask a real direct question of when will this be addressed? It's baffling to me that the city, the Shelby County Fair Board has not mentioned anything about even discussing the issue. I find that distressing as a citizen of this town. It's really disheartening because it's something that is a concern with many, many people. So, any questions? I don't know if this is a discussion. It's probably not. I appreciate you taking time to read this information. I hope it's helpful to move things forward in proactive ways. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Any other comments or input? Anyone?
Nothing from my word.
Okay. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.